pond fishing bait basics. Now, pond fishing is something I grew up doing. Grew up in Virginia, out in the country. We had a ton of little farm ponds all over the place. Pond fishing is a lot of fun, but kind of figuring out where to start is not so easy. So let's go ahead and just make it real basic right here. I've been fishing professionally for 20 years, but I still love fishing ponds. I still love fishing from the bank. I'm going to give you the basics for just a couple baits. These couple baits will probably cover you most any pond fishing or even bank fishing situation. This pond fishing kit for missile baits has all the stuff that you need in it. I'm going to just show you what's in there and kind of how you're going to fish that. So as you open this up, let's just dump it all out here. See what we've got. We got an instruction card that shows you how to rig everything here, which is key. That's kind of what I'm going to show you. And then we've got a Z-Man chatterbait in a bluegill color. Bluegill run around most every pond. That is a really, really good bait to have tied on. And all you need is a spinning rod. If you are good at casting with a bait caster, you can definitely use the chatterbait on a bait casting setup. You know, somewhere 12 to 14 pounds test. Maybe, you know, a little bigger, maybe okay, but that's really all you need. But you can throw all these baits on a simple spinning rod setup. This is the actual rod that my 13-year-old daughter uses when we go fishing. This is a 7-foot medium action cash and spinning rod. Nothing fancy. You can 6'6" or 7-foot medium action is a great all-around size for pond fishing and for using everything in this kit. It's got just a regular 2,000 or 2,500 size spinning reel. You're going to want to have either 8 or 10 pound test on your spinning reel. If you go any bigger than that, you're going to have issues with your spinning reel. But we're going to get into the baits real quick. This 3/8 ounce Z-Man chatterbait. I'm going to get out my handy knife here. Get in here so I don't tear it all to pieces. But I'm going to just open this up. This is a 3/8 ounce. That's a really good size to start with. But you're going to take and look at that. It looks really pretty. You are going to be tying directly to this right here, this attachment that comes off the blade. And you're going to take one of these Missile Baits Shockwaves. It's just a little 3.5-inch swim bait. Kind of looks like a bluegill. You're going to take and thread this and put this right on the shank of that hook. You're going to go right through the tip of it, just like that. And you're going to just thread it all the way down the majority of that bait. And then it's going to go right up there, so it's all in a straight line. And then you're going to tie directly to the front of it, just like that, right onto that little attachment. Tie San Diego Jam is a nice, easy, simple knot. A trilene knot is a good one as well. You can look those up on my YouTube page. I've shown you how to tie those. But then that's all you're going to do for the 3/8 ounce chatterbait, and you're just going to throw that and reel it, and that blade is going to vibrate as you reel it, and the fish will let you know when they want to eat it. They will smash it, they will hit it, and all you're going to do is just load that rod up and reel those fish in. It's a lot of fun. So the rest of the pond fishing basic baits has to do with a weighted stick bait and then 2 finesse worms. This is a 4.5-inch and a 6.5-inch. They're called quivers. And then also in this kit, which I think is essential for pond fishing, is a 1/32 ounce Necco Weight. It's just a nail weight, a little piece of lead as a nail. You can put it in the head of these baits. So probably in the summertime, you know, when you get out there in the afternoon, it's 3 o'clock and, you know, it's sunny and water's relatively clear, they may not be in a mood to hit this chatterbait. You know, you may catch a couple on the chatterbait and you want to switch to something else, a little more finesse. You're going to grab one of these quivers. If the water is going to be shallow, a lot of ponds get that moss on the bottom. So if you take and let that chatterbait or let any bait that you throw out there get down towards the bottom, it's just going to get a bunch of moss and algae on there. So what you're going to do is get one of these Gamakatsu G Finesse hooks, and you're going to tie your line right to the front of the hook. That's all you're going to do. Then you're going to take this hook and you're going to hook it right in the kind of the middle of the body, just like that right there. And you're going to throw it out. You can do the same thing with the bigger bait, with the 6.5 inch. You do the same thing. You're going to throw this out, and it's barely going to sink, real slow. And all you're going to do is just barely twitch it along the surface. And when you twitch it, that worm is going to kind of come back down and then come back out. And that little tail right there will just kind of quiver as it's going back down. I catch a ton of fish in ponds on that little bait right there. And then, or you want a little bit bigger profile, you want to try to catch some bigger fish, you can go with that Quiver 6.5, that little bit bigger one. But let's say you're in one of those ponds that is a little bit deeper. You want to get your baits down a little bit further. Then you can either do one of two things. You can either grab one of these Necco Weights, and all you're going to do is take that little weight and stick it right into the blunt portion or the head of that little quiver once it's tied on. And then when you throw that bait out there, it's going to sink just like that, kind of quickly. And then as you pull it, it's going to compact, pulse down. Then you're going to be, and then they'll sink back down. You can catch those fish that are a little bit deeper in the water column. You can do that, or you can fish one of these weighted stick baits, which is a Missile Baits 48. And all you got to do is rig that the same way. You take that same hook, take that same short. I mean, you can use almost any smaller hook like this, but this hook is the one I use on tour. Like, these are, high quality components. I'm telling you the good stuff to use, not the cheap stuff. Nobody wants to use cheap stuff. They want to use the good stuff. So you're going to take this hook and rig it just like you did that quiver right through the middle. But on this 48, the worm itself has plenty of weight. So when you throw it out there, it's going to sink and it's going to shimmy down to the bottom a little faster than this is. So it's going to give you a horizontal presentation that is going to sink a little bit quicker than the quiver without the weight in it. So that's kind of my 1, 2, 3 punch for any pond or almost any bank fishing situation. Is you're gonna have the chatterbait, bluegill colored, looks really good. It's got a lot of purple in there. If nothing else, it's pretty. But man, big ones will eat that chatterbait. I'm telling you, big ones. And then when you need to finesse them, you can go with that smaller quiver. You want a little bigger profile, go with that bigger quiver. And I'm just going to hook it right in the middle. That's what I'm going to use when I'm wanting to go higher in the water column. Add the little Necco Weight when I want to fish it down a little bit deeper. And then if I want to show them a little different horizontal presentation that falls quickly, I'm going to throw that Missile Baits 48. That's it. Pond fishing basics. There's 1, 2, 3, and then like 3A and 3B on the different options. You get a couple different options there. So go to your local pond, take one of these kits, and get to catching bass, because bass fishing is fun.